Okay. Now we do the handshake. There you go. All right. How you doing, guys? I'm here with Rob Marin, head coach of Born and Bred Boxing. This is the man that actually got me involved in professional boxing, as far as in-ring wise, a little bit, and also as a trainer. He literally dragged me in as a trainer during my hard-headed days. But it's not about that. Let's talk about him. So, Robert, what's going on, man?
Good.
Happy to have you here.
Good, thank you.
We've known each other for quite some time, so it's kind of weird that I'm asking you certain questions that I kind of know the answer to, but I would like to ask you the same questions so that the people out there could get to know more about you. So tell us about yourself before we get into your involvement with pro boxing and the amateur level of boxing. Explain to everybody who Robert was before, as far as boxing.
I was like a normal kid from the neighborhood from Brownsville. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm full-blooded Puerto Rican, born and raised in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. Came to New York, younger man. Grew up in Brownsville, hung out with blacks, Puerto Ricans, you name it. Normal life. Got into boxing at an early age. It wasn't my choice. It was just something to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do it. My parents put me, to do it. And it was tough, and it wasn't easy. I had strong coaches, strong figures in front of me. I had Alfred Shady and Sam Frazier. They were really, really tough guys. Came out of Howard Houses, PAL, within Howard Projects, and it was tough growing up. It had a lot of gangs involved, a lot of guys, selling drugs. We're talking about late 70s, early 80s. We're talking about that era.
Crack epidemic.
Pretty much. Yeah. And lost friends to drugs and gang violence also. So it actually really kept me away from doing really hard crime. Meaning like joining gangs, meaning like shooting somebody, sticking somebody else, stabbing somebody. It really kept me away from those type of things. But any kind of sport would actually keep you away from problems. But we all know we need our family. We need family that keep us away from that also. It just can't be just us or coaches.
And now, how was it like when you first got introduced to the sport of boxing?
Oh, it was tough. I mean, it wasn't easy. I mean, when I got introduced, brought me down to the gym, sign up. The coaches are there. Everybody was there. You hear music there, pumping hard, and everybody's punching the bag, working out. Everybody's grunting, pump, working hard, and you actually see, these guys is not playing in there. I'm a little, an 8-year-old, 9-year-old kid there, and I was intimidated. I was scared. I was like, what is this? So when I got comfortable, when they had me, I was taught a little tougher because I was taught by verbal. I wasn't taught by hand. I was taught by verbal. And verbal meaning like I had to stand in position, throw punches in position, and if I miss, I would get hit. I would get hit in the back of my head, or I get hit in my arms, or my thigh, my legs, and chest, and keep your body up straight. Every little thing they tell me to do, I had to do it by voice, or by vocal, or by hand movement. So I had to be a human remote control to these guys. It was really for real.
And I'm sure that actually helped your in-ring work as far as you're fighting, listening to your coaches.
Very disciplined, yes. Yeah. Very disciplined. I try to do that with certain kids that I train. Not all of them can do it. Mm-hmm. Not all of them made it, but 2 or 3 of them down the line didn't understand what I'm trying to teach. Mm-hmm. I really don't like the hands-on. Mm-hmm. I really like the verbal training. Verbal training is better for me. Hands-on is very easy. Verbal training will teach the kid if you really want to do it. You'll separate the kids that wants to do it who doesn't want to do it. So the kids that doesn't want to do it, then we just train them a different kind of way. The kids that does want to do it, those are the kids who really push. It's just different ways of doing things.
And from you being involved in the sport, as far as what would you say, like early 80s was your first introduction? Like, was it late 80s or 90s?
Early 80s.
Early 80s, okay. What was some of the difference that you see with your involvement, getting involved with the sport of boxing then and how it is now?
Very different. Very different. Now, back then it was rough and tough. Back then you do or you don't. it will let you go. Nowadays, they sugarcoat it, they cover it, they actually baby these kids nowadays. Excuse me for saying it. Excuse me, they don't nurture the boxers. They don't teach them what if I'm not around, how to survive. That's how we were taught back then. How to survive when we're not around. My coaches, I bury my coaches. I have pictures of my coaches on my phone, my screensaver. This is my father, my everything to them. And whoever knows my coaches, this is my coach right here, and I always have him dearly in my heart. That's my coach. That's one of my coaches that passed away. That was like the last of Mohegan. So I had to honor him. We had to honor him. And a lot of guys showed up, a lot of my classmates showed up. And there's a very big difference from back then and now. Because now, better equipment, better facilities, better tournaments, better club shows. They give a lot of kids a lot of belts and trophies. Back then, they used to give it just medals. You know, I would have been happy with a copper medal. I wouldn't care.
Would you say the work ethic was totally different from back then than what it is now?
Totally different. Totally different. You could tell if you want to win or lose by your work ethics, and it was really tough.
Do you think a lot of guys from back then? It sounds like from back then when they got involved in the sport of boxing, this was survival. But now it was more for like fame and fortune.
Now it's fame and fortune. Back then it was just to become undisputed or to unify the titles. Because back then, remember guys, back then there was only one belt in the pros. There was only one belt. Now they got like 10,000 belts right now. Back then everybody had to fight. They have no choice. All name brands had to fight. This is what I like about the amateurs. And the amateurs, if I'm at a kid, let's just have 85 pounds, 13 years old, and they got 10 kids in my bracket, all those kids are the best kids out there. So I'm fighting the best kids now. Not later, not tomorrow, now. That's what I love about the amateurs. And I respect it.
All right, so take us through your first in-ring as far as your first fight. What was it like, your first amateur fight?
The first amateur fight?
As a matter of fact, I'm sorry. Take us through the preparation.
The preparation was for the Junior Olympics. The Junior Olympics was rough. Everybody was preparation for the Junior Olympics. Also, on top of that Junior Olympics, everybody got to get ready for the Junior Nationals. Top of that, it was just so many national tournaments at that time. But the Junior Olympics was tough. And mind you got to win the states. Because it's not like now. Now you got to win the states, regional, and then nationals. There's 3 parts of it. Back then, it's just the states. Yeah, back then it was just the state. And if they ever had a regional, they'll let you go, but you have to be a certain age.
Okay.
So we're talking about me 8, 9 years old. Now back then, it should be 16 and up to go to regionals and nationals. But now, at this age, to get preparation was really tough. It was a lot of sparring, a lot of training, a lot of running, a lot of miles, a lot of sit-ups. Sparring was tough. I was not sparring somebody 85 pounds, sparring guys that's 114, 112. These guys were 16 years old. I'm 8, 9 years old, and I had to spar with these guys, and we had to work it out. Then back then we had a lot of little guys in the gym. We just had a certain few, and we did our best. And for that preparation, we had to get ready. Weekends training also. I did my part as a fighter. I did my part as running, sit-ups, staying top of it, going to school, sleeping. You know, I mean, I told the teachers I got a fight coming up, my first fight. I want to win. You know, if you see me dozing off, I'm sorry. So I was honest with them.
You got to fight for your country.
I got to fight for something that I believe in, and that's what I believed in. And when I did fought, the kid was a little taller, slightly taller than me. Was I nervous? Yes, I was nervous. But when that first round came, you can forget about it. Everything back there, everything was just like nothing. It was just, I saw everything coming. I saw everything going. I said, okay. You know, and I handled him. I got my first win. If I could find my medal, I could find it. And when I get the chance, I'll show you my first medal. I have it somewhere in my house. I can find it.
And what was the kid like? As far as do you Well, first of all, let us know how was he? How was he like as far as your
He was
first?
tall. He was tall. Spanish look, I think it was. He was fast. I think he was good too. I think he was good too. But I wanted to be better than him, so I had to just get the more points out of him. I had to win. I had to listen to my corner.
Right, of course.
My corner said throw it, throw 1-2s, and 1-2s I threw.
One of the classic things I always remember from you: be first, be first,
and be last.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Always got to be first.
All right. So let me ask you now. You had your first fight. Now, what was the next step as far as that? Now you were saying you had to prepare for
Another bracket tournament that they had. It was called the Metropolitan. No, excuse me. It wasn't the Metros yet. It was the Empire State Games. We had to get ready for the Empires. Then from the Empires, we got ready for the Metropolitan Championship. That's what it was. And we also fought for those things. That's for the bigger and smaller guys. And it was getting tougher and tougher, these fights. These fights was getting tougher. I was fighting better opponents throughout the whole New York City, from the Empire to the Metros, and it was getting tougher. It wasn't easy. Did I pull it off? I did. I pulled it off. I did my best. I pulled it off. Yeah, I did what I had to do.
So take us to all right. Now you've what was at what age was your last fight?
Probably like 20.
20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And did you win that one?
Yes.
Okay. Then.
My last age at the fights that I had was 20 years old. I must have been a USA National Championship. Mm-hmm. That's for the USA Championship. And it was back to back with some tournament. I forgot what it was. It probably would have been the Golden Glove Nationals also. It was something back to back. I know I fought 2 tournaments back to back. It was horrible. It was really horrible because I was tired. I was flying back and forth. I was staying away from my family, and also I was flying. I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was just train. They give us some time to sleep, but they tell us to get up again and get ready to train. Everybody always thinks there's always hotels and glamour. I don't like sleeping in hotels.
Where do you like resting at?
I was sleeping in my regular bed in hotels, but I did not like sleeping in hotels because it's not my bed. And I get the knock on the door, and everybody has to come out. Or you remember the chaperone coaches were very, very strict. They were not playing. We have to get up and weigh in, go back to sleep, weigh in, get back to training, weigh in. Everything's weigh in. After training, after supper, after you heard that, right? Supper. That's what they used to call it, supper. Remember the chaperone coaches were Midwest, West Coast.
Okay.
Those were the chaperone coaches. We never had the East Coast coaches like that.
No. Okay. I know you visited cities and you traveled. What was some of the most craziest places that you remember having your fights in?
Down south. I had to fight a white boy. Got his name. I know I was a little older at that time. The kid I had to fight, he was facing me and I was facing him. He had I think it was a swastika. I think it was on his chest. Like he had the tank top. He peeled this so I could see it, and I turned around and said, "Is this kid crazy? Is this kid crazy? He got the swastika pointing at me. He think I'm gonna lay down for it." So majority that people that know me, I curse a lot. I was cursing a storm up. And the chaperone coach that was there was like, "Hey, don't lose control." But my main coaches always taught me to tell these chaperone coaches of out of town that always tell them, "Tell me what am I doing wrong, and tell me how I have to win." The main 2 concerns, and I always kept that in my head to this day. And none of these kids can understand. These boxers don't understand what does that mean when that coach is not your coach, and you have to tell him, "You gotta let me know how to beat him, and tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can fix it." That's the job of a coach that I do not know. You have to enlighten me with that. So when I fought the young man was tough. A lot of rage in him. Thank God for the boxing. Thank God for the regeneration. I beat him in regeneration, and I was trying to double hook him, double right it, but he kept coming. I think one of my knuckles actually got fractured, hitting him so hard on top of his forehead because he kept coming like a bull, and I kept hitting him. And those gloves back then, I still got those gloves too. I did everything I could to win that fight because I had to win. I couldn't lose that fight. So I asked the coach, I'm going to start doubling and tripling on my hooks and rights. And he told me yes. But the kid kept coming. The kid was in better shape than I was because he had more rage in him. I didn't have rage. I just wanted to box him. He didn't want to box me. He wanted to prove a point to his colleagues, which what he was wearing in his chest as a tattoo. And I don't understand how you 16 years old got a swastika like that on your chest. I didn't understand that. I didn't have no tattoo at 16 years old. So
you had to be considered really badass to actually have.
I'm trying to tell you. So that kid, I forgot his name, but if I ever see him, I know who it was.
So how was it like after the fight?
A lot of booing, a lot of throwing things at me.
They had to exit you out real fast?
I was scared. I was crying. I didn't understand. I was confused. I was a kid. I'm confused. I'm 16. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand this racist stuff. I seen it on TV. Now I'm starting to understand how this goes when you're out of town. It's different. They'll kill you out of town, especially in that town. Thank God we got out of there. I don't want to fight there anymore. I said I'm not fighting. I wanted to quit at one point because it scared me. It scared me. Why? If I beat their hometown great, they're going to kill me? How's it going to do?
How much is this worth? Type of thing.
It wasn't worth my life. I'll tell you that much. I wasn't here to die.
I got you.
I was here to die. I would never put myself in a predicament of dying. I never tell a kid to go out there and kill himself for me or a fight. Don't ever do that. My job is to save you or you save me.
Right.
That's the name of the game. We gotta bring them home. Nobody dies in these shields. This is not gladiator days.
No man left behind.
And no man left behind. We coming home. My job is to bring you home safe. If you hate me, you go right ahead. Other than that, no, that's not my job. My job description is not to get you killed and let your pride get the best of you and anything like that for you to die. It's not gonna work.
And well, that's memorable for negative reasons. Now, tell me some places that you actually enjoyed going. It was quite pleasant.
I want to ask you something. Can you pause it? Can you ask my wife, my kid to be there? Yeah, I want them to sit there and listen to a conversation. I think it's best for them to understand that.
Well, I mean, we don't need to. We could just keep it. I'll ask them what I was saying.
Yeah, ask them. I tell you like this. From that fight on, when they threw bottles and everything like that, I was confused and I told those chaperones like, what's this? I don't understand this. How they throwing bottles at me and I beat their best guy. On top of that, he had the swastika on him, and I broke two of my knuckles on top of the guy's head. But he was just like he was fighting out of rage.
Wow, and you was fighting out of
box. All I did was box. I doubled, tripled everything, backward, forward, whatever you name. I did everything I could, but the guy was coming forward.
Okay, now that we mentioned rage, and I don't want to lose track.
Right.
But do you think when you're training your students, do you feel like you try to instill that rage in them too?
I try to teach them to be paused. I teach all of them, and each and every one of them, to always be as your heartbeat. Okay. Anything goes, it's not going to work. You got to control it. This is when you know the difference between a beginner and a kid that's been trained very properly. That's why when I train a kid, it has to be properly. That's why another coach told me, you take too long to train a kid, you're supposed to take long to train a kid. I'm not feeding him out there. Remember, when you train a kid, you train him to be a man. How to handle the world, how to disregard pain, how to disregard feelings, how to disregard these certain things. You got to teach them these things, because if you don't teach them, how he's going to learn? He's going to ask you for guidance, and you have to give him all the guidance you can.
This is a lot of things that people don't understand. You're not only a coach, you're like a father figure, you're a mentor, you're guidance, you name it.
I see myself as their protector. Mm-hmm. I see myself as somebody that really loves them for what they are and what they do. Because it takes courage to be in this type of sport. It takes courage to you to speak to me, to tell me I don't feel so good. Any kid that does that, they have courage to speak to me like that. Because I keep pushing you. Oh, wow. My job is to push you. My job is to understand what's going on. Also, my main thing is school and family has to be number one. I'm third. Boxing, coaching, boxing is third, is last. Family, and always education. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to have at the end of the day. Not me. I'm just, how can I put this? I'm just and hobby. I'm a hobby. It's just something for me. It's just to teach you certain things. But you can't be great fast. You can't be superstardom fast when it comes to this type of boxing. But yes.
So down south was really.
Oh man.
Yeah. Any other? Okay. Besides that incident, did you ever have to go back over there to?
Never. And if they did, I never want to step back. I went back over there when I had my kids to train my students. When we went down there, it changed. It changed a whole bunch. There was no racism. The guy that was running is Andre. I forgot his last name. Andre from North Carolina. Is it North Carolina? Andre, is he from North Carolina? Is he from North Carolina?
I want to know, did you actually bring up, not that you're dwelling on the old times, but did you bring up old times to him and let him know that last time when you came up there?
I never bring things up like that. I bring things up because right now in the interview, certain things I keep to myself. I don't even ask my kids. I don't tell my kids anything like that. I'm just a normal man. I'm just a normal man that goes to the gym to train kids that want to get trained boxing, go to work, get up in the morning, do God honest work, pray to God. Pray to God. I pray to God to protect my soul and my family and my enemy's soul. No harm to be done to any one of us. Also, they come to work and go to the gym, or else come home, watch a little TV, take a shower, eat a good meal. I always tell my wife, thank you so much for feeding me, because nobody have to do that for me. Thank you so much for, washing my clothes. You don't have to do that. And this is what I do. This is a normal life for me. It's not just spectacular. I like my life. It's very boring. I like it. And this is the way I like to live. This is me right here. And it's boring. And I know I have my father's scriptures in my heart. So this is what it is. I try to pass it on to my students. I try to pass it on to anybody. If anybody knows me, I always say amen. Amen. And amen means a lot. Amen means a lot.
So, okay. All right. So now moving on, you had the incidents as far as was it in the South? Yeah,
yes. From North Carolina.
Now, what were some of the most memorable areas that you went through that you got treated real well and you wouldn't mind going back over there? It was just a fun.
I have so much respect for Jersey. I have so much respect for Washington, D.C., Maryland, Baltimore. Oh, I have so much respect. I respect them to the full. Those are my dudes over. Baltimore's my peoples over there. Okay. Oh, man. North Carolina Avenue, right across the street from the projects. Mac Lewis Gym in Baltimore. Blood rest his soul too, Mac Lewis. He got his student runs the gym, Ken. That's Kenneth. Very good, very nice guy. And he's always shown me a lot of respect over in Baltimore. The gym is right across the street from the project. It's called North Carolina Avenue, if I can remember. I still take my kids there too, the fights, whenever Kenneth call me. Kenneth's a very nice person in Baltimore. Maryland also, oh man, Maryland. Good peoples in Maryland. Washington, D.C., boy, they got some tough dudes in Washington, D.C. Amen. I can name a couple. You got the Headbangers. You got the No Excuses. Oxon Hill. Woo-wee. Kenneth Worth. I respect the triple threat from Andre Consul, excuse me. The Gary Russells. Jalil Hackett, he's going to fight soon. Amen. Bernard Hackett, shout out to you guys. Yeah. Oh wow, those are my spots over there. Darrell, all of them.
Anybody? Could you say like?
Also Philadelphia. Can't leave out Philadelphia. Kensington, Philadelphia. My friend and your friends. Oh man. Coach James that passed away from Kensington. Let him rest his soul with his son. Amen. I love y'all guys. Rest in peace. The Kinsman. You know what I mean? Johnny Rocket from out there from Kensington. Toddy and his son, Raheem Lawrence. Also from Kensington, Philadelphia. A lot of respect. Also, the Fifth family. Y'all my peoples, you know that. Y'all the Fifth family is my peoples. You know what I mean? Dwayne in them, big shout out. Cornelius in them. You know what I mean? Chada. Do your thing out there, nationals, Chada. Do your thing. So these are my peoples out there. So
now, this is kind of a tricky question. Where would you say your best lessons were learned as far as in the ring or on the road? Like as far as traveling?
Both.
Right?
Both. I learned a lot in the ring, discipline, and also respect. And I also learned a lot on the road, meaning like go to bed early, train, eat right, go to bed early, fight, go to bed early, train, eat right. I kept myself focused. Whoever the team that we had back then everybody was just very positive at that time. It was really good. It wasn't so bad. These guys are really tough. These guys they were on the money.
Okay. Now, anything you feel like you would do over again, or you would?
No. The only thing I would do over again is certain students that I had before.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I'd have been there for them more. I wish I could have done more for them. I wish I had the more resources that I have now than back then. Some certain students are very stubborn. I can't go through to them, and I got to leave them be because they can't drag me along with them. I can't do that. Mind you, I have a family that I love very much. I have to respect that. You heard? Yeah.
Okay, so what was some of the most? How many champions did you make over your time?
Plenty. It was plenty. I'm not gonna say like that, but I'm gonna have to be honest with you. It was very plenty champions.
Belts. As a matter of fact, you guys are gonna see because I have some clips of the old gym that we was in, and it's like, oh my God, belts after belts after belts.
Remember, belts don't mean anything at all. It's just the lessons. Belts is just the congratulations of your win. You know what I mean? Belts is just a congratulation of your wins. It's not really anything. It's just something that's been given to you because you won. But it doesn't make your head swollen or anything like that. It's just let you know that you accomplished your hard work and it was given to you. But don't you think that you can't work hard, you're gonna get something just like that. It's just I gotta work hard at it. And every time I used to train my kids, they'll tell you it may be a club fight, it may be a bullshit fight, but I train like it's the WBC world title fight. I didn't play. We out there in somebody's state, country, or land. We have to perform. We're not repping New York. We're repping you. We're not repping nothing else but you. That's how we do it here. And everybody knows why we have to train this hard. It's only a club show. So that you need to pack up and go home. Because when every little club show and every little fight, they're going to see you. Keep your eyes on you. They're going to watch you. See how fast or strong you are. How can you defeat somebody better than you in your own hometown? In your own hometown. Mind you, we have to take a ride early in the morning. We can't eat nothing all day until weigh-in. After we weigh in, we hungry. We got like 30 kids, 30 fighters there. After we weigh in, then we have to see the doctor. Mind you, gentlemen, after we weigh in, the doctors come. We got to go get something to eat, come back, see the doctor. And after that, get ready. It's a lot of work. A lot of money involved. There's a lot of things involved. The kids that been out there and do it, they know who they are. Sean Porter, Errol Spencer, Terrence Crawford, Mayweather, Danny Garcia. All these kids. Lomachenko, all these kids that did this boxing, Muhammad Ali, everybody, Joe Frazier, everybody, they had to go through this. Everybody had to go through this. Somebody had to pay for this.
Who are some of the guys, and I know that the list is endless, but who are some of the guys as far as on the professional level that you had a chance to be around as far as professionals?
Love Danny Jacobs. Brownsville's own. Definitely like him. Also like Jahad Tucker. That's one of my bloodlines. Jahad Tucker is the most beautiful thing that his father ever made and his mother ever made. He's a beautiful young man. God bless his soul. God bless it wherever he goes at. He will be further. The War Machine, yes, the War Machine is a beautiful young man in and out the ring. God bless him and bless him more. My prayers to his family. His father doing a great job. His team is doing a great job. And I'm a part of that team also. He chose me to come to be in his part of his life because I was there at the time. And born and bred boxing. And he's a beautiful young man. Also his father, his little brother also. Jamali, we'll definitely see this baby Shark also. And we're also talking about K-Sean also. K-Sean is there too. That's a colleague of his also. God bless him also. The whole team, Coach Joe also there, music. These are people that I know that's there. You know, Jack, he's there also. And also Mozzie from Albany. Mozzie and his father Ty. Off the hook, young man. Another prodigy of boxing pros. Southpaw, strong Southpaw kid. Nothing to play with. He will be ringing bells soon. And he's already ringing bells anyway. So these are the pros, the younger pros that I'm talking about.
Okay.
These are younger pros that I like talking about. These younger pros. Cashflow Diaz, my godson.
Everybody knows Cashflow.
Cashflow Diaz, Floyd Diaz, my godson. Salute to Mike also. Bless him and his son. Continue doing it. He's a part of it, yes. But now he's always going to be a part of TMT because of Roger. Always. I got to say that loud and clear. You always respect them and love them to death. Roger, it's a bloodline to them and they love them very much. Let it rest his soul, Roger Mayweather. My people from Massachusetts, Boston, Joel, Lennox, and his father Orlando also. I love them with all my heart. These are my people from the Puerto Ricans from up there. Those are my people, my nephews. I call them my nephews. Great kids. They did their wings out there in Tijuana, Mexico. They won their fight 16 years old, 17 years old. They went out there, did their pro debut. They did their thing out there. God bless them. That's a part of the team right there. Always. Everything, all bloodline. Everything's all born and bred. Everything. You know? And these are the pros that I deal with. I deal with those pros. Everybody's talking about the short part. Nah, all right. I understand the up and coming pros that I understand, that I see. These are my guys there.
I know you had a chance to be around, to meet Evander Holyfield. Any stories you could share?
Evander Holyfield, he's the real deal. He's the truth. He spoke and he talked to me a lot. He gave me a lot of advice and knowledge and stuff like that. But he did say his good friend, you know, that passed away. We both know who it is, and he was hurt behind that. I was his best friend. He always said that Whittaker was something else. He was the man. They said he told me they gave the keys to the city to that man. They gave him the keys to this Whittaker. And I got a picture of Whittaker, mind you. Whittaker, Holyfield, these guys are fantastic guys. These guys, you can learn so much from them. You know, I could sit there and stay there.
How was it like, and this is, I have to chuckle with this one, because I remember I was supposed to be at the gym at that time, but I had to go to work. But you remember the time when I was dealing with my memorabilia business?
Absolutely.
And then you had Adrian Broner at the gym.
Oh my God, Adrian Broner.
I said, Rob,
you talking about East New York, right?
I said, Rob, please do me a favor. Can you just get his autograph?
I did. I did.
He got me the autograph and the picture. I did. And that was just part of the business. What I did, I'd go around.
Mike Stafford, his coach, his original coach, Mike Stafford, very good friend of mine from Ohio. Very good friend of mine.
How did that come to play that he ended up in the
I really don't know. It's just he popped up when I heard he was coming. Right. He popped up. He came through with one of my favorites. I mean, one of my favorite amateur fighters, Rasheem Warren. Mm. And when I saw him, I was like, I still looked at him. I said, wow. I think it was one of Rasheem Warren's pro debut. One of them, I'm not quite sure. Mm-hmm. I stood there, gave him a handshake. Then he took a picture of him, which I should have, which I didn't. But I did take pictures of him down the line when I met up with him in Junior Avenue in Washington, D.C. That's when I saw him. Again, at the Headbangers Boxing, a very famous gym.
And how was that when y'all seen each other?
He don't know who I am, but I know who he is. And I gave him a hug. One of my students was sparring with his kids. the kids, the kid was nice and they spoil each other, he gave my kids a lot of props, which I respect.
And I gotta ask you a question because I don't know how far you're allowed. You want to answer. It's not about allowed because you do what you want to do. But I also know one thing about this man. This is a very as rough as he is. But between me and you, this man is a very peaceful man. Very peaceful man. But you don't want to ruff his feathers because then World War III would break out. But I wanted to know as far as like with the dealings that you've had with certain individuals. What were some of the guys as far as that? Did you ever run across certain people, and you may not want to mention names, that you really don't care to be around?
So plenty of them. It's a whole bunch of them. I ran into people that they're really wrong about the sport. I'm not going to name names.
No name, exactly.
I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? There's people that don't belong in the sport. There's people that are just disrespectful to the sport, hurt the kids, hurt the sport. You know what I mean? And lie to the kids. Blindfold them. You can't blindfold these boxers. You can't blindfold boxers. You got to keep them, alert. And these coaches and these people and these parents, whoever they are, they know who they are, and they're liars. They're all liars.
Now, well, without mentioning names, what are your opinion on these people from the entertainment world, whether they be musicians or whatever, different athletes from different other areas, different arenas, not the boxing world, but now they want to become promoters or want to get themselves involved in boxing and actually carrying a slogan saying, "We're bringing boxing back." How do you feel about
They don't know anything about boxing.
Do your Roger Mayweather. You don't
know shit about boxing. You have promoters that they know what they're doing. And you got managers that know what they're doing. They've been doing it for many, many years. And they've been doing this before my time. And we respect that. But you got these up-and-coming young kids that want to get their hands involved in boxing. They have to understand the sport. They have to understand how people work, how their financial work, how you're going to take care of them. I'm not going to diss them because you never know. They're going to help us. Boxing needs help, and we need that help. Other than that, you can't say that you're going to help boxing. It's impossible. Boxing doesn't need help. Boxing's a brutal sport, and believe you me, even your YouTubers are in there now. So how you going to help? Who you going to help out? The YouTubers don't even need managers. They can just go in and get them. We're about to go see Mayweather just settle the fight. Come on, cut it out. Millions of dollars. Cut it out. I don't know who you helping.
Hey, listen.
It's not right.
Hopefully, Kevin, when I get you this footage, get on your game. We need to put this video up ASAP. I am aiming for this video to be up before the Mayweather and Paul Logan fight.
It's this Saturday.
It's this Saturday because I'll be damned that we're putting this video up and we're talking about it.
And I love it. Everybody says it's wrong.
I do.
Let me be honest with you. It's boxing. It's still entertainment. We're looking at entertainment now. Listen, there's two sides of me about boxing. There's two sides of me at boxing: entertainment and legacy. I like both. I'm not gonna downgrade anything. If it's entertainment, I want to watch it because it's entertaining. It's something to talk about. But anything to do with legacy, I'm gonna respect that legacy.
One thing I admired, and I don't think you remember, I was there for that. I was preview to that speech that you was giving in the gym at that time to a couple of the students. This was after a workout, and they was talking about, oh yeah, I really, they was talking about, I guess they want to stay in the game, make a lot of money, and then stay in the game for like 15, 20 years.
I remember.
And then you was like, why would you want to do that? If you make your millions, make your millions, get in and get out. Don't you want to, you
gotta enjoy your millions.
And I looked at you and I was like, oh shoot, that's happening.
You gotta enjoy your money.
And
enjoy it. If you miss boxing and you want to do something about it, get a gym. Train kids. Teach them. Be a promoter or manager or coach. They'll be back in the game. Remember, who wants to get punched in the face all the time? I don't want to do it. I don't want to get my face beat up again. There's too many dents in my head. I don't want to do that stuff. Nobody does. When you're young, you could do it. When you're older, who wants to do that? You know what I mean? You gotta have that fire. If you got no fire, why you in there for? It don't make no sense. No sense. Remember, the key word is always stay healthy. the pursuit of happiness. That's the Constitution rights. We want to be happy.
Let's just throw an example. You have a kid. He enters the pros at what age could we say? Give me any age. He enters. You have him
17, 18.
17, 18. Okay, within 3 or 4 years, he's a household name. He's making millions of dollars. He has like over 100 million in his bank account. You as the coach, what do you tell him at that point?
Stay humble.
Would you try to encourage him and tell him?
I tell him every day, stay humble.
Stay humble.
Continue doing your youth. Enjoy your youth. Put your youth to the test. Put the youth that you have to train hard. To put the youth to continue becoming great in legacy. Youth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When we become an older, mature man, it's time to step down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everything is done with youth. Always remember that. Nothing lasts forever. Everybody thinks so. I don't think so. I don't think so.
And that's another thing too. In life in general, the future is relying on the youth. That's a lot of times people forget about that.
They don't recruit old people in the military. They recruit youth.
Wow, that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's amazing because you find a lot of coaches, they would want to keep their fighters in the game as long as they can to juice as much money and try to get but just to hear a coach actually say, "Hey, listen, man, you made your millions, get in and get out," and that was really impressive.
I don't think all coaches are like that will say get in, get out. Some coaches like to leak them out. Some coaches majority of the coaches are yes men. The ones that I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I'm not a yes man.
Okay, what would be? So when you mean yes men, would you say their fighters pretty much are telling them?
They know their fighters are not good enough anymore. Their fighters are done, and they say yes, continue because they're going to get their money.
But they still get it.
They don't care. You think they care? They don't care. I care. I give a flying fuck. I'll tell you right in your face, no, that's enough. Without me, you're going to have to do it without me. I'm not here for this. And if you win, congratulations. But I'm not here for the pain. Not this way. We do this as together as a unit with respect of the head coach. That's why we have a head coach. As a head coach, I'm in control. And to this day, I'm always going to be in control. Everybody's calling me, "Oh, you too arrogant, you too this, that." Call it what you will. But I'm from Brownsville. Period.
A lot of talent came out of Brownsville.
Many.
True.
A lot of talent came out of Brooklyn. I can't just pinpoint Brownsville. I got to pinpoint Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know what I
Brooklyn in general.
Brooklyn in general.
You're getting upset with me.
Zab is nothing but love. His father's a beautiful man. Joel, much love for Joel.
Introduce me to the man too.
Joel's a great man. His brother, Gus, Augustus, Gus, much love. You know what I mean? And we take it from there. These are good people.
But yeah, this is so I mean, we're looking at the sport on the condition where it's at right now. Do you feel like there's any money left in professional boxing, especially after the Mayweathers retired from the sport of pro boxing, and now they're doing the exhibition fight, and now they're showing that you could actually earn a paycheck even on the next level. Your personal opinion? I know you feel like boxing is never going to go anywhere. That's not the point. The point is it at its low point right now?
Not really. Right now, boxing has a lot of loophole. Mayweather made a loophole. It was bound to happen. Mayweather's coming back to get some more. He don't need this money. He's just doing it because you know what? He loves boxing. I wish Mayweather could turn back his hands of time and start doing what he got to do again. I'm a big Mayweather fan. Why am I a big Mayweather fan? Because he knows how to make money. And I respect that. No injuries. He has a strong team, disciplined team. You know what I mean? And he loves the sport. You got to give him respect. He loves the sport so much that he made money out of it. Because at the end of the day, when they took the Olympics away from Mayweather, he cried a little bit. He didn't cry, but he really wanted to cry. He just gave you that look and said, "I'm going to change the game." That's what he did.
I think the best thing that ever happened to him is that he received the bronze.
Absolutely.
That was the best thing that
Absolutely. And also Mayweather, shout out to Mayweather's promotion. A lot of love for them. Team Mayweather, you doing your thing, Mayweather. Keep doing your thing. I'm a big fan of yours. I respect you. I think I know in my heart you changed the game. You know, you're the best thing in this generation. You know, and if you want to feel like doing whatever you want to do, go right ahead. You know why? Because we're gonna watch you. You go ahead. I'm gonna watch your fight, regardless of the fact. I'll pay per view for you. I don't have no problems with that.
What did Joe Rogan say? They was like, yeah, he's fighting on YouTube, but then they asked Joe Rogan, are you gonna watch it? Joe Rogan said,
if Mayweather fighting a tiger in his cub, I'm watching. You know what I say? A cub in the mother. I'm watching that fight.
Oh man,
because this is Mayweather.
Oh my god.
Remember, at the end of the day, it's entertainment.
Oh my god.
Now we're talking about legacy. We're talking about Canelo Alvarez. We're talking about Errol Spence. We're talking about Manny Pacquiao.
I just seen the Devin Haney fight.
Devin Haney is a beautiful, beautiful young man.
What was your thought? He got tested.
I remember Devin Haney when he came to New York City, East New York, Brooklyn. 13 years old. The spar was Scrappy Shenard Bunch. They were both 13, and it was a great sparring.
Did you?
And I respect him.
I wish he was recording.
I wish I did. And at that time, Devin Haney had 50 fights at 13 years old.
Oh wow!
If I can remember, the Dream. That's what he used to call himself, the Dream. I met him, and Joel Judah brought him through Judah Brothers Boxing in East New York, over there by Liberty Avenue. Also, I seen him also in PAO Nationals. I seen him in a lot of fights. He did his thing. He's nothing to play with. He turned pro young, so be it. Big fan of his. I don't care what nobody says. I'm a big fan of Devin Haney.
Of his last fight?
His last fight with an artist changed the gravity of the jab. You always stuck in one jab mode. You got to change the gravity of the jab. Gravity, change it, change the fist, change the jab, change it. Sometimes throw 1 2, 1 2, 1 2. You don't got to change it. You kept throwing pop, you drop, pop. You got to change the level of that jab. Change the level. Or occasionally 1 2, or fake right, or fake jab. You got to change the level. You did a spectacular fight. You got wobbled up. You got wobbled in the 10th round. You got tested. You wobbled back home. You sat down. You recuperated. I like how you recuperated. And when you came back, then you're like, I ain't playing with you either. You turned it up. You know, that's lesson to be learned. Now, this time, don't play with nobody. That's when you got caught. You got caught right on the right side. You got caught the hand right there. You got caught. That's gonna let you know I can't be playing with nobody. I gotta fucking fuck your ass up. Remember the key will fuck you up from the 1st to the 12th round. Don't play with none of these motherfuckers. Period. Remember the old ops, the old opponents. You got that fucking strap. Don't play with these motherfuckers. You know this nigga hit hard. Stop playing with him. Make him miss. Make him pay for it. That let you know that's a lesson to be learned. Stop playing with these motherfuckers. Mayweather never play with nobody. No one. You play with somebody, you take your eyes off the prize, you get wobbled. Keep your eyes back on the prize. Stop playing the fuck around. That's letting you know, don't get so big for yourself. That's all.
I love that extension of the jab that he had.
It was beautiful.
That snap was beautiful.
Beautiful. You box. You don't have to hit hard. You know how to box. You hear me? You have to hit hard. Don't worry about hitting hard. Fuck hitting hard. Worry about fucking winning and boxing your ass and get better every time you fucking fight. Fuck your power. That shit comes along with a combination. That's it. The nigga's weak, then he goes to sleep. That's it. You heard what I said. If the nigga is weak, he goes to sleep. Period. That's it. We got this. I'm a big fan of yourself. You heard the Dream? I'm a big fan of you. You're going to have to have a new name soon because you're about to be up there. On a couple of more fights, you're going to be up there. I'm telling you, I respect you from day one. God bless your family. God bless your team. You're doing a great, fantastic job. I hope to see you again.
Well, guys, I guess this concludes part 1. Yeah, he thought it was going to be over. He thought this was going to be over, but this is part 1 because there's plenty more to go. But part 1 of the interview with Robert Marin, we're going down memory lane of past events, his times as far as involving in the sport of professional and pro boxing, as far and amateur, mainly in the amateur, because he actually, this guy sitting here, very humble guy, but he actually was involved in a lot of guys, some guys that you're aware of, but a lot of guys in their youth, as far as bringing them up, he's very responsible for. But we'll be talking more about that in the next interview to come. Thank you very much. This is Davine. TV.
That's right.
Yeah, Don Davine TV. That works out. Don Davine TV. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. Bing, bada, boom.